12 epic fights ranked. As an action anime, duels are its core magic. Now let us count down 12 greatest fights in the series. First up, Zoro vs. King. In the Wano arc, Zoro sailed to Onigashima to overthrow Kaido's rule. King stood as Kaido's strongest commander. Defeating him meant helping Luffy claim the One Piece. Driven by ambition and duty, they clashed in ultimate combat. Battle begins. King's racial traits nullified Zoro's fierce attacks. Zoro barely found his weakness and awakened Conqueror's haki, mastering Enma completely, finally defeating King. Second, Luffy vs. Enel, set after reaching Skypiea. Enel ruled as god, using the Rumble Fruit power, treating mortals as mere ants. To protect his crew, Luffy clashed with Enel. Fight starts. Enel wielded raw lightning, flashing like pure light, striking Luffy with bolts, blocking close approach. Luffy used his rubber insulation, taking shocks without real harm, adapting to the rhythm to strike back. Enel prepared the island, destroying Rego. Massive thunderclouds gathered. Luffy swung the golden ball wildly, disrupting Enel's spell. Islanders cheered Luffy on, charging forth with the golden sphere, defeating the arrogant false god. Yet fans criticized this match. While rubber resists electricity, the extreme heat of lightning, rubber could never withstand. Third, Ace vs. Blackbeard. Blackbeard was an outcast. He stole the dark fruit, killing Thatch and betraying the crew. As division commander, Ace pursued him for justice. The battle began. Ace unleashed flame powers, enveloped in roaring fire, rushing forward with magma-like fury. Blackbeard nullified flames with darkness, severely wounding Ace. Ultimate move clash. Their iconic duel highlighted the early saga, spanning a full episode, thrilling to behold. Fourth, Big Mom vs. Kaido. Big Mom hunted Luffy to Onigashima, crossing paths with Kaido's beasts, to crush shared foes and conquer the New World. They formed an alliance, but settled terms through combat. By starting a brawl, Big Mom struck first. With iron skin and soul powers, Kaido transformed into a dragon. Their ultimate strikes collided, shaking the island of Onigashima. Fifth, Akainu vs. Aokiji. After the Summit War, Sengoku and Garp retired. The admiral seat lay vacant. Their ideologies clashed bitterly. Aokiji sought gentle peace. Akainu enforced brutal absolute justice. For the admiral throne, they fought on Ponk Hazard, exchanging blows endlessly, lasting 10 grueling days, creating a frozen inferno. Half encased in ice, half buried in magma. A breathtaking spectacle. Akainu emerged victorious. Becoming fleet admiral, Aokiji lost a leg and left the Marines. Their powers permanently altered the island's climate. The land bore the cost. Sixth, Luffy vs. Katakuri. Chasing to rescue Sanji, Luffy entered Big Mom's territory. Facing the sweet commander head, Katakuri barred his path. Katakuri's bounty reached 1 billion berries, mastering all 3 Hakas. Seeing glimpses of the future, the battle began. Katakuri dominated with sheer skill, suppressing Luffy entirely, dodging all gear attacks effortlessly. His matcha fruit shaped his body at will, blending offense and defense. Luffy refused to yield, learning from every blow, adapting the pace, unlocking Gear 4th Snake Man, making strikes unpredictable, boosting speed and force further, exchanging blows in the mirror world. Shockwaves warped space itself, shattering surrounding mirrors. Luffy grew through combat, awakening his future sight, triumphing in the end. Spanning dozens of episodes, matched in strength, rising from defeat to a stunning turnaround. Snake Man's reveal especially proved breathtakingly stunning. Seventh, Roger vs. Whitebeard. Peak clash of pirate legends. 26 years ago, their crews met at sea. Preparing for war on an island, both stood at their absolute prime, reigning as the strongest pirates of their era. Roger swatted Odin aside with divine departure, enraging Whitebeard, sparking a fierce titan clash. Conquerors' hockey collided first, unleashing destructive shockwaves, blades coated in Bisashoku hockey, without touching, generating immense pressure, forming an energy sphere between them. Shockwaves devastated the landscape, shaking the heavens and earth. Crews joined the fray too, locked in fierce combat, exchanging blows for 3 endless days without a victor, ending hostilities on the 4th day. In the aftermath, mutual respect bloomed, transforming rivals into dear friends, consulting each other on matters of great import. As Roger claimed the throne, over shared cups of wine, he offered to reveal the One Piece path, yet Whitebeard simply refused. 8th, Luffy vs. Doflamingo. Across Dressrosa's domain, Doflamingo spun a birdcage of threads, ensnaring the entire island. To liberate its captive souls, Luffy clashed with the tyrant directly. Amidst the fray, channeling rubber abilities, unleashing Gears 2 and 3, trading blows with the heavenly demon, Doflamingo wove razor-sharp strings of control, slicing objects and binding foes. Sanji and the crew stepped forth with their powers, engaging his corrupt officers, pushing past limits to buy Luffy an opening. Luffy initially struggled against the odds, until Gear 4 unlocked a stunning turnaround. Though temporarily overwhelming the foe, the dreadful side effects soon struck, robbing him of hockey for 10 minutes. As loyal allies shielded him through the trial, Luffy reclaimed his fading strength, delivering the final decisive clash. Ninth, Supernovas vs. the Dual Emperors. Sovereign. In the Wano realm, the alliance led by Luffy joined local resistance forces, vowing to dethrone Kaido and Big Mom, turning Onigashima into a slaughterhouse. The rookies challenged the emperors upon the roof. From the very start, every supernova unleashed their might. Kid hurled crushed metal using magnetic force, while utilized spatial rooms, coordinating seamless ambushes with allies. Luffy engaged Kaido directly in Gear 4. Kaido assumed dragon form, breathing devastation across the land, scorching everything in sight. Big Mom wielded her soul powers, harvesting lifespans to summon homies. The rookies initially faced total despair, realizing they had to fracture the alliance, or stand no chance of survival. Zoro stood as the lone beacon, halting the Emperor's ultimate onslaught, securing a sliver of hope for victory, before total annihilation claimed them all. 10th, Whitebeard Pirates vs. Marine Headquarters. The Summit War shook the entire world to its core, with Ace imprisoned by the Marines, facing public execution at Marineford. Whitebeard reigned as the strongest man, though aged and battling failing health. He led his armada to challenge the world government. The Marines marshaled 100,000 elite troops, bolstered by the warlords, alongside the 3 admirals, and Fleet Admiral Sengoku standing ready. As war erupted, Whitebeard swung his Bisento, using tremor powers to fracture the skies. Tsunami waves swallowed the bay. His commanders answered with their own gifts. Marco soared as a fiery phoenix, deflecting attacks through endless regenerative flames. Jozu hardened into unbreakable diamond, shielding his comrades. The Marines unleashed their terrifying arsenal. Akainu dissolved into molten magma, incinerating everything in his path. Aokiji plunged the battlefield into deep freeze, spiking the sea into jagged ice walls. Kizaru flashed across the battlefield as pure light, firing devastating laser beams, striking from every conceivable angle. Factions clashed in bloody turmoil. The tide shifted endlessly, facing insurmountable walls of defense. The fleet pressed on to rescue Ace. Ace watched his family bleed for him, overwhelmed with bitter grief, yet victory ultimately favored the Marines. Whitebeard stood tall despite countless fatal wounds, maintaining his pride until his final breath. Ace fell shielding Luffy from Akainu's magma. This conflict reshaped history, closing an old era and ushering in a tempestuous new age. 11th, Garp vs. Blackbeard's crew. Galaxy Impact. Following Kobe's abduction, imprisoned upon Pirate Island, Garp marched to rescue his pupil, leading the secret sword unit into battle. Stepping onto Hachinosu, he obliterated a town with a single punch, displaying terrifying prowess. Summoning the island's ruthless commanders, Garp confronted multiple enemies alone, throwing the giant Sonyu on Volf into the sea, instantly incapacitating him, turning Vasco Shot's flames against them, throwing the fortress into blazing chaos, sparking internal turmoil among pirates. Garp and Aokiji clashed in fury. Aokiji showed no mercy to his former mentor, exchanging fierce blows in kind. Yet while shielding young Kobe, Shiryu pierced him using invisible blade arts. Even so, the duel raged onward without pause, finally ensuring Kobe's escape. Struck down by icy blades, captured in defeat, this battle truly showcased Garp's immense might. 12th, Luffy vs. Kaido. Karma. Their grueling feud spanned trials untold, falling and rising through countless defeats, fueled by an unbreakable spirit of defiance. As the clash peaked, Luffy awakened Gear 5th Nika form, enhancing his physical limits boundlessly, unlocking wild cartoon physics, bouncing freely across the battlefield like rubber, unleashing whimsical devastation. Kaido fought with everything he had, but destiny favored the champion. Ascend. Their legendary encounter stands as the most breathtaking spectacle yet, especially the Nika awakening, captivating fans across the entire globe. Which epic confrontation left the deepest mark on you? Share your thoughts below.